What's up, Mama Boss? Welcome back to the Mompreneur Mastermind Show. I'm Stefanie Gass, success strategist and passive income queen creator. If you're ready to step into your God-led potential, create profit from your passions, and capture the success that is already yours, this podcast was made for you. As always, you can find out more and connect with me over at stefaniegass.com. So grab that cup of coffee or fill up that glass of wine and let's dig into today's show. Hey, welcome back. Here we go. This is episode number 3 of the Mompreneur Mastermind Show. And we're going to be talking about 3 things you're probably doing that are messing with your flow. Okay, and I actually had the title as that are effing with your flow, but then I realized that seemed kind of harsh and I didn't want to be saying that throughout this whole podcast. So I'm going to go with the G-rated version. 3 things you're probably doing that are messing with your flow. Have fun with that. First of all, you're probably thinking, what the heck is a flow? Let's just start there, all right? So, Mama Boss, the flow is when everything is gravy. You're happy, you're light, you're waking up with excitement about your day. Life feels just so amazing. I mean, there is very, very little that can get you down. You're positive, you're smiling at people. Everything seems to be really going well in your life. The right relationships are finding you. The right friendships are finding you. I mean, basically, life feels like a blessing and you're ready for every single day. Now, I don't think the flow has to be this daily feeling or this, I'm only in the flow if it every single day is flipping perfect, right? I mean, because let's be honest, I think the flow is really this overall directional pull of your life, and we're allowed to have a couple off the flow days. So for me, I would say out of every 30 days, I probably have 2 or 3 days where I'm just gonna basically hide from life, watch embarrassingly bad reality TV, and eat far too much chocolate because that's what you do when you're not in the flow. I mean, that's what I do when I'm not in the flow. Anyways, let's move on. I want you to think about where you are. Let's start there. So for me, when you look at being a 9 or 10 on the flow meter, really the birds are chirping. You're feeling really in the flow about your day. Your reaction to things is very calm. You're able to kind of see beyond any drama or snapping at people. You're really filled with this almost overall peace and patience. And you can take a look at that and say, how do I react to people? Well, your kids could be going, Mama, Mom, 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 Mom. And you're like, yes, dear. Versus, what the hell do you want, right? 5, that's more like 50-50. So 50% of the time, you're feeling really good. You're feeling groovy. And the other half of the time, you want to stab somebody's eyeballs with a butter knife. That got weird. But you know what I mean. Yes, you do. That would be a 5. Now, if you're maybe a 1 or a 2, I mean, we've got some major work to do. You're feeling angry, frustrated, overwhelmed. You're upset maybe a majority of the time. You find yourself blaming people. The relationships you're surrounding yourself with are negative or hurtful. You're probably not making any money, or you're spending all the money that you do make. You're struggling. You're snapping all the time, and you can't remember the last time you were in the flow. Now, wherever you are on that scale, it's all gravy because you're listening to this podcast for a reason. I don't believe in accidents. I think you were led here on purpose. You're listening. You are focused in on the content I'm going to talk about today, and you're going to be able to internalize this and hopefully 180 your flowness and move that number up and to the right. Now that you have that number written down, and don't worry, okay, whatever that number is, our goal is just to create some progress and start to feel more in the flow than we do already. And if you're a 9 or 10, gold star yourself. Like, you are rocking, you are in the groove, but you can always improve, right? Law of the lid. You can always move beyond. Go to an 11. I mean, we can go off the charts. This is like our meter, so whatever. All right, so let's talk about the 3 things that you are probably doing that are messing with your flow. And I am a testament to all 3 of these things, okay? These things used to mess with me, get me in the wrong mindset, create a negative overtone for my day, picking a fight for nothing, nothing's going my way, my world is in shambles. I have so many blocks that like I could build an Eiffel Tower, all right? Now that I have removed most of these triggers, and especially these 3 things I'm going to talk about, I am operating in the flow meter at probably a 9 or 10. So that's what I would like to eventually get you to. And I want you to know that if I can do it, so can you. So number one is the news. This includes browsing the internet for current events. The other day, I walked into the living room. My husband's watching the news. 2 minutes of the news in like my peripheral vision. I wasn't even full on watching it. And I'm sobbing and crying over some abused, neglected animals, a murder on the corner 2 blocks from my house. My kid's school doesn't have enough money. The world is ending. Everybody's going to die from like some creepy apple we all ate last week. It's freaking ridiculous. I'm being facetious and I'm being sarcastic, but really, truly, the news gets off on negativity, on glorifying the bad in the world. There are so many more negative, bad, hurtful stories than there are positive. So, a long time ago, I just simply decided that the news and all of the internet hoorah just simply wasn't for me. I'm a total extremist when it comes to this. I don't know anything happening in politics, the news, the world. So, you decide how intensely you want to follow this advice, because my parents and my husband really vehemently disagree with me when it comes to this point. They're like, you need to know what's happening in the world. I'm like, but do I? Do I really? Because for me to just internalize all of that negativity and hurt and harm and fear-mongering, all that does is change the way that I see and perceive the world. And I think there's a big difference between being naive and not knowing what's happening around you in your surroundings and, being in harm's way, for example, and deciding, actually making a conscious decision to live in your happy bubble. I love my happy bubble. It's shiny. It's sparkly. Like, I fart unicorns up in here. Knowing that I can actually keep that negativity outside of my being, it impacts my day in an insanely positive way. When I internalize that 2 minutes of the news, or I see one of those horror stories pop up in my Facebook feed, I am affected for like 24 hours. I am so sympathetic that I am empathetic that I can't even function. I feel so bad that I just want to cry. And the sad part about it is most of those things that they're sharing are either glorified fake news, or it's something I can't do anything about. What I would rather do is live in my sparkly unicorn bubble, head out into the world, smile at people, pray over the homeless, share happiness, give hugs, laugh. And I don't put myself in uncomfortable or scary situations. And if I feel that type of scary environment, I'll leave. So again, like, there's this difference between being naive and choosing not to fill your mind with negative news, political rhetoric, the fighting, the back and forth. Ask yourself, what is that doing for your flow? What is that doing for your flow? And that could be a controversial one, but that is my true feelings on the topic. Number 2, we have got to stop overthinking about everything. So So, I had this idea, but I don't know if I should do the idea. Like, should I execute it? How would you go about it, Mary? What about you, John? I'm just going to think about it all night. I have no idea if it would work for me. I mean, would anybody listen? I think I would fail. Y'all, how can you ever explode into your God-led calling, your incredible, amazing gifts that maybe you don't even know you have, but I am telling you, sister, you have them. They are there. How can you ever even move forward if all you're doing is being indecisive about legit everything? And I am not saying this to bash anybody because I have been there. Oh my goodness. But what is the best thing that I've ever done for myself, for my business, and for my family is to just leap. And when I feel that tug on my heart, I jump. There's always going to be the incessant chatter in your mind because that is your conscious mind telling you that your comfort zone is the better choice. That is your conscious mind telling you all that it knows, which is to protect you. And anytime you're being indecisive, you're listening to your conscious mind hold you back. Like you're actually giving in to the what ifs, the I don't know hows. Basically, you're giving up on yourself. And I want to call all of you to step up and to really, really focus. And when you feel that tug at your heart, don't think about it. Don't overthink about it. Just leap. Because you're sitting there thinking about it. How are you ever going to grow? As of 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know I was going to have a podcast. But I truly feel that God spoke to me, that I had a massive tug in this direction. Everything aligned. I stumbled upon the right mentors, the right podcast. And I'm always praying with my heart open for the next step. And my problem is I never think about anything. The second I feel a tug at my heart, I jump, I listen. But there is no way I'd be where I am today if I had thought about it because I don't know how to start a podcast. What am I going to say? Nobody's going to listen to me. What if, I stutter? Just jump. Y'all, I'm cheering for you. If you don't have anybody cheering for you, I'm cheering for you. Let's stop overthinking things because that is never bueno. Lastly, number 3, and this one is definitely not least. It is to stop worrying. Mama bosses, I think that we as women, as wives, as mompreneurs, so many things on our plate, we are constantly worrying about everything. We're worrying about stuff. Am I right? We are just consumed with all of the things that could happen that haven't even happened yet. I mean, this is so crazy. If we really think about it, think about how ridiculous that sounds. You're worrying about something that hasn't even happened, may not happen, and all it's doing is messing with your flow. Worry is just the same as negativity, fear, focusing on all the chatter in your conscious mind. All of these things basically keep you stranded. You are stuck. There's no way to move forward because your mind has become your own worst enemy. So the best thing that I can say here is when you catch yourself worrying about something, I want you to ask yourself, is this something that I have physical and mental control over right now? If the answer is yes, instead of worrying about it, write it on a piece of paper and put down 3 solutions that you can implement right away to fix the problem. If the answer is no, I cannot control this situation, I want you to close your eyes and with me say, breathe in, breathe out. I thank you Thank you, mind, but I am going to release this fear. I'm going to release this worry. It is no longer a part of my being. Reframe that ish, okay? So instead of being worried, you're saying, I am no longer worried about this. I have no control. Thank you so much, Lord, for your support, and thank you for taking care of this for me. Fill me with peace. Ladies, there was a time when I struggled with anxiety, and it was completely self-induced. And I thought about going to therapy for my anxiety. I read a couple self-help books all about anxiety. People were like, oh, you need medication. You just pop a Xanax when you're anxious. I'm like, what? That's not me. I don't even do Tylenol unless I absolutely have to. I found the solution for me, and that was prayer. In any moment of angst, in any moment of anxiety, in any moment of fear, when my heart rate would elevate and I would get hot and I would get sweaty and I'd start panicking, I had to relax and I had to remind myself, God is with me. Jesus is with me right now, and he is surrounding me in peace. I am filled with peace and love. There is no worry. There is no fear in my body. Nothing. I am completely at peace right now, and focus on my breathing, and voila, ladies, I am telling you, my anxiety was cured. And anytime that it started to get further and further apart, and whenever I would feel that panic start to rise, I would lay down and I'd focus on my prayer, and I would focus on my mindset and bringing myself down and reminding myself that I was full of love, peace, and God's love. And he was with me right there in that moment, filling me with calm peace. It worked. Try it if you struggle with anxiety. I know so many entrepreneurs do. Why? Because we are letting our minds run our life. We are letting negativity in. We don't have enough positivity coursing through our veins. And so it creates fear, which creates anxiety. And we try to control everything. How many of you are control freaks? I'm raising my hand right now, but I'm working extra hard on releasing that, because that is never, never good for us when it comes to our mental state and our mental health. All right, sidebar. I wasn't planning on sharing my anxiety journey, but hopefully that helped some of you. Let me know if that resonated with you, and especially if you try it and it works for you. So let's recap. That was fun. What are we going to do? Mama Boss, we're going to stop watching the news. Now, again, you decide how extreme you want to be with that. Zero news for me. Zero. Zero, zero, zero. I don't even look at politics. It doesn't do anything for me. It really doesn't do anything for me. I'm not interested. I don't want anything to do with it. I want to live in my unicorn bubble. Now, if that's not you, maybe cut back and see if that makes you feel better. Truly. We've got to get our flow to work for us. So what else can we do? We can stop overthinking every single thing in our lives. If we stop thinking and start acting, the only thing that can possibly happen is you can make a mistake. You can do something wrong. You can fail forward. But thinking about it, you do nothing. Thinking about it just creates worry, and it's a horrible cycle, and you're going to go round and round and round. I'm going to overthink about it, and then I'm going to worry about it, and then I'm not going to do anything because I'm worried about it, and then I'm going to overthink about why I didn't do anything. Y'all see where I'm going with that? So that's not good for you. As an entrepreneur, you must leap. You have to conquer your fears. Do the thing that scares the crap out of you and go be epic at it, or go fail at it. What is the worst thing that can happen is that you learn a brand new lesson about you. You learn, hey, I didn't really like that. I mean, for example, I started a YouTube channel when I first became an entrepreneur, and I realized that wasn't my jam. I didn't like to put on my makeup and edit videos and like hide in my closet from my kids. I'm like, this just isn't me. But I did it, and it was super fun, and I got some business out of it, and other ideas were born because I did that, and then I started blogging for a little bit, and I was blogging, lifestyle blogging. Cooking, recipes. Let's see. I did like arts and crafts. Hilarious now. Hilarious. Oh, I have another story for you. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Why am I doing this? And I did a blog and I realized I'm not a crafty mom. No, I'm not. I'm really not. Here, kids, are some washable markers and a whiteboard. This is my arts and crafts. Yes. So realized that wasn't my jam, but I tried it. It was super fun. I enjoyed it. Some of my pins on Pinterest that I did from my lifestyle blog have gone viral. Who knew? Still an amazing learning experience. This is the one I didn't want to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. I started a headband business on Etsy. Oh, see, I leap sometimes before I think. So, you got to find your balance. Thankfully, I've kind of found my balance here. Learned about the power of prayer and really feeling into something. But started a headband business, and I was hot gluing headbands together and trying to sell them. I didn't sell one headband. Okay. Who is going to buy a hot glue headband for $12? Nobody's going to do it. But it was so awesome because I learned how to create an Etsy store. I learned that I can start any business that I want. The second I dream it up, I can make it a reality. It was a learning experience, and I'm sure that everybody laughed at me. I'm really sure of it. Yo, Steph starting a headband business? I don't know about that. But the great thing about me is I don't give two poops what people think about me. So I just laughed. I'm like, yeah, you want to buy one? Anyways, point being, let's not overthink about things. I want you to make a list of the top 5 things that you have been thinking about doing. I want you to pick the one that looks the most fun, that lights you up, highlight it, put a star by it. And then I want you to go and freaking do it. Stop looking at it. Stop wondering how to implement it. Because you can Google any and everything. Believe me. You can hire a coach to help you, a mentor. You can get with a buddy that's done it and ask, how did you do this? There are 1,000,001 ways to get from point A to point B. And I believe in you. And I know that you can do this. Make the list. Go out and conquer the things. All right. The last thing is to stop worrying. And I gave you a lot of tips on that, but the main thing is to identify when you have that feeling of worry, the knot in your stomach, the rise of panic, the anxiety. I've been there. It's a horrible feeling. I promise you, I totally can relate with where you've been, how you feel. The knot in your stomach, you can't sleep, your mind is racing. The worry has to stop because it will basically keep you from even getting out of bed. There's no way you're going to go out there and conquer the world and smile at people and even bring light into the world when you have a dark cloud over you. My favorite tip for that, and really I'm just going to reiterate, was to write it down and ask yourself, is this thing that I'm consumed with, is this worry something that I can physically control or mentally control right now? Okay. If the answer is yes, write down 3 solutions you can implement and do it now. If the answer is no, you have to release it and let it go. You can meditate on it, which actually next podcast I'm going to talk about that, meditation and hypnosis. And I don't want you to be like, I'm not listening to that. That stuff is weird. You're listening. You're going to love it. And then the other thing you can do is to pray on it. And you guys, don't be shy with your prayers. Call out, the Lord hears you. Call out, ask him to be with you. Ask him to fill you with peace, to remove the worries from your body. And you can pray over and over. You can pray in your mind. You can pray out loud. You can pray all day long. God is my boo. I talk to him all day, every day. He's like, this girl's up in here again. That should be you. He hears you. My life is 100% different than it was when I didn't pray to the extent that I pray today. So try it. Try it. You're going to see that there is a massive shift inside of you When you let all that negative, nasty, ickiness out of you and you stop harboring it and you stop letting it in. I don't even let it in anymore. I don't even let it in. So the next thing, you can't grow a business when you're in a negative mental space. For all of you out there starting a business, trying to grow your business, make it bigger, expand, explode, go next level. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, I just want to make $500 and I can't even do that. Wherever you are, I'm pretty sure that you want to elevate your game. Am I right? You can't do that with a negative mind. So these 3 things should help you get in the flow. I want to hear your feedback. Head on over to iTunes. Be sure that you leave me a review. Let me know if this podcast helped you. I would truly love to hear your feedback. And I'm just going to leave you guys with a quick abundance prayer and we'll wrap up. I want to pray so much abundance over every single one of you mama bosses right now that are listening to this podcast. I just pray that you have peace resonating and radiating through your body, that you're able to remove all of the negative sources that are coming at you. You're able to create a block and keep those out of your being. You're able to fill yourself with positivity and with God's light and head out into the world with your happy bubble and your big smile on your face and make a wonderful impact and feel incredible and amazing 99% of the time. I pray that God is with you when you're filled with worry, when you're overthinking things. You turn to Him and you ask Him to help you be calm, be mindful, and make the right choice for your life. I also pray that you are able to recognize when you are self-inducing all of this pain by overthinking things and worrying about things. And I pray that you have full release from all of those feelings. All right, ladies. Well, I will catch you next time. Thank you so much. Love and light as always, Steph. Hey, mama. Real quick before you go, if you found value in today's podcast and you learned something new, if you'll take a quick minute, head over to iTunes and leave me a review and subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. And I want to connect with you. Head over to social media and find me. My handle is @Stefanie Gass. I'll see you next week, praying light, love, and abundance over you. Until next time.